Okay, so now that we're in our Zoom meeting, I'm going to just introduce you to the key sort of features of the Zoom meeting that will help you run the meeting. So the first one over here is my microphone. So at the moment you can see that I'm muted because there's a red line over my microphone and it's not coloured to show that it's active. If I want to enable this microphone, I just click on it to click on the icon and it'll turn it on essentially, and you can see now it's green and it's measuring the volume of my voice. It's the same thing here with the video. So at the moment my video is switched off. If I click on the actual icon, it will turn my video on and you can see that now I can see myself, and my students or whoever's in the meeting with me can see me also. Now we've got some other important buttons along the bottom here. I've got this security button here, which I don't really, mess with. It's just sort of set to default. But I can use it if I want to suspend particular people from the meeting, if I want to lock down the meeting. And the one thing that I have enabled in my meeting settings is the waiting room. So if I wanted to if I decided, look, I don't want a waiting room anymore, I can just uncheck that mark there, and that would just let people into the meeting. I've also disabled this share screen option so that my students can't share their screen with the meeting. But if I wanted them to be able to do that, this is where I would allow them to do that. So I could click that, so that now lets anyone in the meeting share screen. And the other thing is I've enabled chat, which means there can be a chat room in the meeting. But if I don't want a chat room, then I can just uncheck that. I can also, at the moment, I've checked that the students can rename themselves. Again, if I don't want that to happen, I can uncheck that. I've checked that they can unmute themselves. So anything that I don't want, to be able to happen, I can just uncheck here. This particular tab or icon here with the two little people is my participants icon. So it shows me who's part of my meeting, and when I click on that, it'll give me a list of all the people that are part of my meeting. It'll also give me an indication of their microphone and video, and then it'll allow me to do things, I guess, to them in the meeting. So I can rename them, I can mute or unmute them, and then they might put up some, a hand up or any of these icons, so it gives me an idea of whether they're happy with how I'm delivering the content. I have this polls feature, so if I wanted to launch a poll question to my students, so just to ask them something and get them to respond in Zoom, I can add a question and it'll take me into meeting information to let me do that. Generally, if you don't want your students to do that, I wouldn't, really be doing that, especially with younger children. But that's something that I do cover in my advanced videos. So please jump into those if you want more information about using polls in Zoom. The chat. So when I click on this particular icon, it opens up my chat window. So this is what the chat looks like. I can send a message to everyone, or if there were other people in the meeting with me, I can send a direct message to those people. I can attach files using any of these particular, input sources, and I can, control the chat in any way I like. This particular green button here is the share screen button. So that allows me to present to the meeting or share any images or content that I might want to my meeting participants. And I do go over that in the next more advanced video. This particular button is the record button. So it lets me record my meeting. I tend to record all of my meetings. And when you click on it, you're given two options. You can record the meeting to the cloud, or you can record the meeting on this computer. So I always pick record on this computer, and that'll just keep a video record of the meeting on the computer if I wanted to access it